So Les, my brother, all
Yes.
right. How many times have you been in this piece?
This is my fifth time in Cuba.
Your fifth time in Cuba.
Yeah, fifth time.
Okay. So would you say that you're addicted or not so much anymore?
I'm definitely still addicted.
You're still addicted?
I think this is the fifth time in 18 or 19 months. So.
And earlier on, I actually just met some guys who are like me, and they're here like every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you something. What brings you back?
I missed it. I missed the authenticity of the people. And, I have some friends here that I've made over the times that I've come, and, there was recent hurricane, and I want to make sure your peoples are good. And anything I can provide won't be much, but whatever I provide, hopefully it helps out the people here.
Okay, so it's kind of like coming back to a home, or a home away from home in a sense.
Absolutely, because once you're here, it's almost as if you're a Cuban. That's how they're going to embrace you and treat you as if you're one of them, and that's why it's so easy to come back.
So Les, you are from the United States, correct?
I am, yes.
Okay, now we're mentioning this for the importance that people from the United States can visit Cuba, right?
100%. I'm here right now.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Now, can you describe what your process looked like in terms of like airline and how you got there?
Well, I live in the Philadelphia, New Jersey area, but I had a great flight thanks to my friend out of DC. So I had some family down there. So I drove down to DC and just caught the flight from DC to Panama. I will tell you people this because obviously a lot of people always ask, can you go to Cuba or not? And sometimes when you get to the airport, you may deal with someone that has never dealt with someone going to Cuba or not, right? But they're after a supervisor what needs to be done. And once they do that, the process is very, very easy, very seamless after that.
So you went ahead and you actually purchased a paper visa in Panama, right?
I did, yes.
Okay, and you remember how much it cost?
$20.
$20. All right. So if you're going to the United States, traditionally it's like 100. And through Panama, we had that little lifesaver for $20.
Absolutely.
All right. So, yeah. And then after that, you were in through Cuba. Did the Cuban authorities give you any trouble?
Not at all. Zero.
Okay. Not on this trip. Now, when you were coming, like every couple of months, did they ever get to ask you anything?
Yeah, I got pulled out of the line maybe the third time I came here, and I guess it was customs, asked me some questions, asked me why I was here, what I was doing here. I told them, support for the Cuban people. They asked me how. I told them I had different things that I purchased and I was going to be handing out. And they already knew what my answers were going to be. And they guided me towards those answers because, they seen the stuff I had. They seen the big suitcase I had. So yeah, it was, people were very nice. It was not anything that anybody was intense or rude or anything.
Cool.
It was locally.
Now, let me ask you a question here now that you can decline to answer this if you'd like, right? Depending on how you feel. What are Cuban women like as opposed to American women? Or just in general, however you want to answer it.
Well, Cuban women are intense. They can be intense. I find them very feminine, though, for the most part. Very caring, very, in my experience, authentic. I've experienced a lot of them have been very honest with me too. Easy to get along with. Easy to enjoy yourself, have a good time with. Whether it's friend or you want more. If you just meet a random young lady on the street and want to sit down and have a talk with her and have a coffee, it's no problem at all. They're very accommodating for that. So it's been nice. It's been very cool.
And how's your Spanish?
My Spanish, I describe it as a little bit better than okay. Right? So I can communicate with no problem. I can go from point A to point B. I'm not fluent. And I'm probably 40% below halfway there. But yeah, I can, I know I have a decent amount of Spanish I can speak.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Oh, well, obviously I'm asking you a question, but as a black man, do you feel out of place here in Cuba?
No. I think the only way they really know I'm not Cuban is how I dress and if they hear me speak. Besides that, because there's no particular Cuban look per se, right? I've seen people here that I question whether they're Cuban or not, but they are. I've seen people that look straight Irish, dressing the guy with, who had red hair.
Yeah.
And I was looking at him like, he's Cuban 100%. So, once you speak or how I dress, they look at my sneakers a lot. So you can tell by my sneakers, like, all right, it's not from here.
In this video, we're gonna have Café Cubano, okay? We're gonna do it the traditional way, not the modern way like how you kids do it these days. No pods, so we're doing it old school. Here we go. Look to me for Cuban. So we're gonna start with something called a cafetera, all right? So it looks like this, you unscrew it, this comes off, okay, right? The way how it works is the water, if I can actually pop this thing off, hold on. All right. Meanwhile, you guys are buying your $6 Starbucks every day. I'm here drinking Café Cubano for nothing. So the lower section of the cafetera, you fill up with water. Here in Cuba, you want to use bottled water just to protect yourself. That Cuban diarrhea, boy. Epic. Here in Havana, there are bodegas on every corner, multiple, and you can very easily buy bottled water. And right here, you'll put your funnel, which will allow hot water to interact with your coffee grounds. Growing in the eastern regions of Cuba, you have some of the best coffee. Whenever I leave, heading out through the airport, I make sure I stack up on this stuff. Man, if you've never had Cuban coffee out of a cafetera, you're missing out on an essential piece of life. I'll make some links available for you below. After you get those coffee grounds in there and you lay it flat, it's ready for the top to go on. And just to assure pressurization, make sure you screw this on properly. Screw it on tight. Just like the Soviet Union, these old stoves from the 70s and 80s from the Soviet period, they're still here in these apartments. They make no sense. These old gas stoves are great, especially since there are an increasing amount of electric issues happening in Havana. Served black with some sugar is the real Cuban way to do things. He's a great person, bro. Oh, you have a phone. Thank you. You got it hot like shit. All right. How's the coffee, brother?
Coffee is very delicious.
Yeah.
Very rich.
Café Cubano. Do you, have you been to other Latin American countries?
Yes.
Okay, which ones?
Mexico, Dominican Republic, Colombia, I guess Belize. I think that's
okay. Now, in your opinion, or in your perspective,
Panama too.
you're Panama, right? In your perspective, how does Cuba match up to the Dominican Republic for a nightlife experience?
They're going to have a good time, right? All them countries I named, nightlife is going to be great, right? They're going to hear the music and they have to move, right? They have to dance and they're going to pour their heart into that. The thing about, I think, the difference with Cuba is, I think it's more ingrained in what they do, right? It's a huge part of the culture, right? And when you go to these places, everybody is dancing. It's intense. The music is intense. There's like electricity. There's a soul to it, right? And I think that's part of being Cuban and the Cuban experience is that, last night we went out and the guys playing drums over the beats that they're playing, and it's just you feel it. It's in the walls. It's in the air. It's thick, and it's intense, and I love it. It's great.
So when you were in DR, did you feel the same, or you felt a little bit different in DR?
Well, DR was earlier in my travels, right? Okay. So when I'm going to these clubs, I'm not necessarily going to the local neighborhood clubs per se, right? So I'm hearing hip hop or real early Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So it's mix of that hip hop fusion in it.
Right.
Last night, there's just straight whatever it is locally.
Yeah.
That's what they're playing.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And it's not catered towards tourism.
Right.
It's catered towards the local experience.
Yeah.
I think that's a big difference too.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you remember what cover was?
Last night?
Yeah.
Was it 300?
Yeah.
300 cup.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
call it? Yeah.
Yeah, so that roughly 65 cents or something like that.
Yeah, less than $1.
Right, less than $1, right? And let's see, energy drinks were essentially 75 cents or something like
Yes.
that. And a drink was that, a beer was the same, and a bottle of rum was maybe like $5 or so.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that's Cuba. Less prices, a lot of vibe.
A lot of vibe. Heavy on the vibe, low on the prices.
Low on prices.
Absolutely.
Okay. Good. So you don't feel out of place as a black man.
Not at all.
I'm gonna tell you what. I've gotten a lot of comments. I received maybe not a lot, but I received these comments that say that I'm ruining Cuba. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. So for different reasons, I've got those comments. And so last night, right, we had a group of five men from the United States.
Yes.
Right. And I feel like people will look at that and see 5 black men from different walks of life, and feeling that inviting black men from the States is the wrong thing to do, and it is somehow destroying Cuba, I guess. I don't know.
But no, listen, I'm gonna say this, right?
Yeah.
I remember on your community post for YouTube, you posed a question similar to that. Should you be welcoming more brothers to Cuba? And it was a poll and I said no. I remember I said no. But when you explained yourself in the next video and then, us communicating, I feel 100% different. Right?
Okay.
The young men we were with last night, extremely respectable.
Yeah.
Willing to assimilate into the culture, right? They're not coming here expecting it to be anything differently than what it is.
Right.
There's a respect for the culture. They want to assimilate, right? And it's helping the economy tremendously. I've seen from the first time I came here till now, how us coming here has helped the economy tremendously and changed people's lives. And no, I think it's very important for us to come here. It's very important. We're very welcomed as well. Very, very welcomed. I haven't met anyone that hasn't welcomed me to this country. Not one person, right?
You're right.
And you and I were actually walking yesterday. And the young lady stopped us and said, "Thank you for taking your holiday here. Thank you, because you're helping out the people around us." She didn't want anything from us. She just wanted to stop and thank us. And I think that's a representation of should brothers come here or not.
Is there anything that you don't like about Cuba? Give it to him, Roy. Don't hold back. Don't hold back.
I don't like that people litter, right? As prideful as this country is, I would love to see more pride in the sanitation area. That's one thing. That's one thing. And of course, I would love to see it thrive financially. However that vehicle came in. But yeah, it's hard to see people really not have. I'm not joking. It's not a game. People don't have. So I wish that would change. That's one thing I don't like is the pride.
All right, now just one last piece, my brother.
Okay.
What do you got next coming up in your travels?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know because it depends on my schedule. I'm a small business owner, so that dictates how I can move as well as being a father. But most likely, I'll probably go back to Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia, wow.
Yeah, I'll probably go back to Southeast Asia for a week or two, maybe Vietnam, Cambodia, and/or Thailand. Yeah, that's the goal. But for me, living on the East Coast, to come here is a lot quicker, right? And it's also a lot more familiar. And the language is not much of a barrier as well.
What did you pay to come here again, if you recall?
The flight round trip was $310.
$310 on Cuba, right?
And also not paying $100 for the visa. Basically that covered the cost of the hotel in Panama and our eating, right? I don't even think the food came to that, so it was definitely Like Panama was just free.
Right, essentially.
Essentially, because I only paid 20 for the visa. That's $80 left over. The room we got wasn't even $80.
Right.
You know, so yeah, so that was nice. That was a big bonus right there. That was a big bonus.
I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Peace out from Cuba.